So, I am back and I am about to start another painting. Wait. Hey. Okay, so a couple of things. First, so the last painting I posted, right now I don't have the YouTube video posted right now, but I did post it on TikTok, and that's where most of like my traction is, like where I get the most like viewership or whatever. I'm trying to transfer that over to YouTube, but I just want to thank everybody for like liking my painting, and I also want to thank the people who bought a print, y'all. So I initially last summer I started a print shop on Shopify, and I had a couple people buy from it, but not many. I don't know what it was about this painting that a lot of people wanted to buy it, but a lot of people bought it. I'm very happy with the amount of people that bought it. It wasn't like, tens of thousands of people, but it still was people buying it, and that just made me feel like, damn, like what I'm doing well, what I'm on the right track. Like that's how it made me feel. I think that's about it. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to the people who bought the print, and if you're interested, DM me on TikTok, Instagram, my art page, and I'll let you know the prices. Yeah, so I guess I'll show y'all the painting. Okay, so this is the sketch. So I tried to be a little different, and I seen a TikTok saying like use charcoal instead of like graphite, pencil, mechanical, whatever. I suck, like dead ass. I suck at sketching, and I feel like the charcoal. I used charcoal pencil, and then I used the charcoal stick. It kind of made it difficult to, you know, be a little bit more accurate with the facial details or whatever, but I'm not gonna I was trying to tell myself to not get too caught up in it, because I'm trying to learn to kind of paint without having to be so heavy on a sketch. And I know a lot of people say like the better you do your sketch, the better the painting will look, and I feel that way too, towards kind of like the structure of the painting or just like the actual figure. But otherwise, I don't know. I can't tell you that, the sketch is what helps me the most when I'm painting. It really just depends on what exactly I'm painting.
Okay, mini rant session. I don't know if it's just me, but like the entire process of prepping to paint is so fucking tired. Like, I cannot make it up. Like, gessoing the canvas, sanding it down, then sketching. I fucking absolutely hate sketching. Like, I do not like sketching at such a large size. And then having to, set out all my supplies, find them, run around, make sure everything's together. And then finally, okay, I get to paint, right. No, bitch, I still have to I still have to prep the paints to actually start oil painting. And I love to complain, but it's just like it gets to a point. It seriously gets to a point, and by the time like I'm finished prepping everything, I don't even feel like painting anymore. And I don't know if I was using the wrong kind of charcoal, whether I was supposed to use like the pencil or the hard or soft, whichever, I don't even know. But it was coming up as I was doing the underpainting, and it was kind of like looking kind of nasty. So I don't know too much about using this method again. And really, this is my last time ever, procrastinating on a painting like this, because it's no way in hell I had an easier time painting 3 paintings last semester for my final versus doing this painting. I know I had less technique, or like I was doing less thing. I didn't have the molding and like the airbrush, but the shit, no. It was just like a crazier process. And I'm back again with the molding paste. I used it for my last painting, but this painting I wanted to use it again, trying to be a little bit more intentional with what I was doing. And I also feel like it's kind of hard for me to rank as far as like what's been my hardest painting, just because like I could look at a painting that I had trouble painting like 2 years ago, but I could probably repaint that right now and it wouldn't be as difficult. But this painting now, like, this shit was hard as fuck. Even doing the sketch like was so annoying, and I usually use like the grid method, so you know it's supposed to help me out and make the process a little bit easier. But it was just, I don't know, I kept like mismatching or looking at the scale wrong or looking at the boxes wrong, and I just had to do a lot of erasing and a lot of like extra stuff that I don't typically have to do.
Okay, y'all. Put the mic here so y'all can hear me better. Okay. Clearly, it doesn't want me to be great, but for the painting, the assignment was to create a mixed media piece, and my first thought was airbrush. I never airbrushed before. I never airbrushed a painting before. And I never like used oil paint with airbrush. So the issue with that is airbrush, the airbrush paint is acrylic paint, and you're not really supposed to put acrylic paint on top of oil paint, but I'm hoping in this test trial that it will work out. So I'm thinking that because the airbrush paint isn't as thick, I don't think airbrush paint is as thick as general like acrylic paint. So I'm thinking, or I'm hoping that the outcome isn't the worst. I'm hoping it's not bad. So when I bought the airbrush, I ordered one from Amazon. At first I was looking at it at Blick, and baby, it's just like some days I just don't have Blick money. Like, I don't have that $150 for a fucking airbrush. Like, girl. So yeah, the next best choice was Amazon, and I did find one. I found an airbrush gun, but I was so thirsty that I didn't actually do the research on what exactly I needed. So I just kind of like, I don't know, I ordered the airbrush gun and the airbrush paint, but I didn't have the compressor for it. For one, I wasted my time. For two, I wasted money. And yeah, so now I have to return that one, and I ended up buying another one, airbrush thing that comes with the compressor. It's by the same brand, and actually I bought it secondhand. I'm trying to save money, at least on this, because it's like I'm not an airbrush pro, and I don't want to buy or invest in something and I end up not liking it, because that's what happened when I bought into the gouache shit. Like, I bought the damn gouache dipping sauce looking ass palette, and I used it maybe like a couple of times, and yeah, I ended up throwing it away. And to this day, like, I regret throwing it away. I knew I was gonna regret throwing it away, but I was just like, fuck it. I threw it away, and it was still a full palette. I could have re-wet it up. I could have done a whole bunch of shit, but I threw it away.
So this is either the next day or the next week. I'm not even sure at this point, but like I said, it takes a year to pre-mix the paint palette, so here I am doing that. A little background information on where I am or where I was here. That first paint session, I had to have done maybe just the face, and then I tried to get the airbrush and I ended up figuring that shit out. But y'all, one thing I love is when classes overlap. So for my painting final, we were allowed to do any concept, anything. It just had to be mixed media. And for my Black World Studies class, we had to do something concerning what we had learned in class, like any of the topics. So I was able to use this painting for 2 of my finals, which really fucking helped out with trying to complete my other studio work.
Hey y'all. So it's pretty dark and I'm just gonna lay under the bed while I kind of talk and yap on here. First things first, y'all, I got my hair done. It probably looks a little crazy right now, but I know I've been supposed to be doing my like painting vlog or whatever, but I don't know where I'm at with this painting. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I like it, but I feel like my mind isn't in it, if you know what I mean. Maybe I'm just feeling that way because I'm so focused on my other studio, my main studio work. I feel like I'm getting sick. Not this morning, but today it rained, and for my painting class, it starts at 1. And I went and it was fucking pouring fucking raining, bitch. Like, I just don't like the idea of carrying my painting back and forth to class. Even though I stay on campus, I just don't like to do it because, for one, I use oil paint, so every time I'm moving a painting, it's wet, and I don't like doing that. I would prefer if I could just, work on it here, even though I feel like I hate the lighting here. Like, it's so many fucking reasons why I hate painting here, but I just would prefer it over, carrying it back and forth to the school. I'm ready to get the fuck ASAP. Like, I feel like I don't want to say I'm going insane, but it's just like, I feel like I'm just tired. I've been supposed to work on that painting. Honestly, I'm not that in a rush to do it. I don't know, I just don't feel... I love the idea of the painting and I do want to paint it, but I feel like I'm a tad bit intimidated by it. I'm not gonna fucking lie. Like, I feel like maybe it's just a lot of detail to it, and it's nothing wrong with that, but also it is just like, bitch, I've never painted that many figures. I've never painted something like that. The last painting that I did is the most closest I've done to anything like this newer painting, and yeah, I'm just a little intimidated by it, and that's why I kind of been like ignoring it. I don't know, so let me give you someone to hold. I am back after probably a couple of weeks. This painting is due tomorrow and it's 7:25. I had to work on my other studio, like my main studio project, and that shit took me way longer than I expected. I definitely thought I was going to finish during the week, and I thought that I was going to be able to work on this painting, during the weekend, but here we are literally at the end. And I don't know, my teacher sent an email saying like, the painting doesn't have to be finished, just come. I don't know, she sent an email kind of like that, and I was just like, damn, like, I'm not really the kind of person that wouldn't finish the painting or finish a painting for an assignment, but it's really given that. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm gonna try to work on it. I'm about to like literally speed run this painting, and y'all, I literally have to airbrush it too. And mind y'all, it's the weekend, so my school building is closed and I don't have the right ventilation for it. I do have this big ass window, so hopefully maybe that'll help, stop the fume. Otherwise, that's all I got. I'm really tired though, y'all. Like, I have been up since really 9 a.m. I think 9 a.m. working on my studio project, and I just finished it. Today
all today I was just working on Photoshop. I was doing Photoshopping and InDesigning, creating my board. I might show it in this video, but I don't know. But yeah, right now I'm gonna stop yapping because it's time to work on my painting final. So a little bit of context of what the painting addresses. It's about Yoruba spirituality within the Black diaspora, and I wanted to look at that through Beyonce's Lemonade album, because throughout the movie, I guess, I don't know if that's what they kind of call it, but the music videos, there's a lot of West African elements in it, whether that's in the Sorry music video where she has the facial marks, or in Hold Up where she literally depicts herself as the Orisha Oshun. And a little background, information on the Orisha Oshun. She is the goddess of love, fertility, beauty, and fresh water. So a lot of the themes that I really wanted to emulate within the painting that also connect back to the Love Drop music video and Lemonade as a whole is Black motherhood, Black femininity, trust, faith, and also Black sisterhood. And I could really go on and on about the Black diaspora in connection with Lemonade, but I kind of had to ask the assignment just because I was on a time crunch. Plus, I really loved the concept, so I didn't want to just let it go, but I wasn't able to further, my ideas on the topic. So I did end up receiving an A in both classes on this painting, but it wasn't done to the extent that I initially planned for. When I first came up with the concept of the painting, I knew I wanted to have the airbrush, because the airbrush for me was a big part of the painting, along with a short essay kind of detailing who the Orisha was, explaining its connection with Lemonade, and then referencing the poems and the music videos. But bitch, I just didn't have the fucking time. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the time. And I mentioned that I was procrastinating, but it's just I wasn't even procrastinating to the extent that I couldn't fucking do this painting. I was busy doing my studio work. And not to mention, I literally had that studio critique that morning before I had to critique for this painting. And this is your warning: do not schedule 2 studios back to back on a Monday. I had no choice because my main studio only ran on those specific days, but the painting class, fuck no. So this is where the painting was when I presented it, and these are just some of the areas where I felt were the most roughest, and they kind of in the critique told me areas where I needed to kind of redefine it to make it look a lot clearer, like where the seashell is, kind of defining the area where her stomach is and the seashells. So that Sunday night, I had planned before class on Monday that I was going to go pick up my print, and then before my painting class I was going to try to airbrush my painting. So the print wasn't done in time, so that entire morning I spent running around trying to figure out how I was going to be able to present. And eventually I was able to get my board, but by the time I presented, I was so fucking disoriented and running off of 4 fucking hours of sleep that my presentation was kind of ass. But the actual board did come out pretty good, so you can see that on my Instagram. So the cherry on top for this painting was the airbrush. Previously I had used it, and I guess I didn't clean it correctly, because when I was trying to use it again, it was not blowing the paint, and I disassembled it trying to clean it 3 different times, and it still wasn't working. So what I did was I ended up using this random can of black spray paint and just spraying it at the bottom. And then for my 2 classes, I ended up presenting the painting unfinished, and for the most part everybody liked it. I did figure out how to fix my airbrush, but that literally, oh my god, I don't know, Reddit is so helpful, y'all. Shout out Reddit. I love how this painting came out. I feel like the colors are so fucking vibrant, and I'm really happy with it, and I gave my mom this for Mother's Day. And I hope y'all enjoyed the video process of me doing this. I'm not really sure the longevity of this painting, because you're not really supposed to kind of put acrylic paint on top of oil paint, and even when I was kind of painting or airbrushing it, I wasn't completely letting the oil paint dry, so I don't know. But I got pictures of it, so it doesn't really fucking matter, not gonna lie. I don't care. As you can see up here, it might just be cracking, but I don't know what it's doing. It's gonna do what it wants to do, and I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that because this was very experimental for me. I definitely want to continue with the airbrush technique, but I think if I want it to last and, you know, not crack, I'm gonna have to switch back to acrylic paint, and I'm a little okay with that, but I don't know. We'll see where it goes. And yeah, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Bye.